Hi everyone, I'm Miss Lora. Welcome back to another Fresh Look Friday. I have some junior fiction books to share with you today, and they are all historical fiction. And I'm going to start with this one. It's called The Windeby Puzzle by Lois Lowry. So in 1952, in Germany, they found something called a bog body. So this happens in peat bogs, where they find remains, skeletal remains of people that lived a long time ago. This particular bog body is of a child, and they found it in 1952, like I said, and it's about 2,000 years old, something from the Iron Age. And the peat in the bog kind of prevents it from decaying. And when you open this book, you get to see an actual photograph of it here. So that's what it looks like. And Lois Lowry was intrigued by this. And so she decided to write this story and trying to puzzle out who this body was. Scientists have discovered that it is a child. So there's two stories in this book. And throughout the stories, Lois Lowry jumps in and gives you history facts. So it starts with describing how the body was found, what the science behind it is, and then she creates a story of a girl named Elstrid, who she imagines this is what happened to Elstrid. Then she gives up more science and more history and more facts and presents another story about Varric. It's a shorter book, but it is fabulous, and it has a lot of great history and facts. So if you're looking for a quick read and something kind of out of the ordinary, definitely The Windeby Puzzle. Then I have a book told in verse by Kwame Alexander. So this is told in poems. It goes very, very fast. I know it looks thick, but it'll go very, very fast. So this is called The Door of No Return. This book broke my heart. I think about it constantly. And as I was reading it, I even teared up. Made me cry. Highly recommend. So this takes place in 1860 in Africa. Our main character is Kofi. He's a boy. He just lives in his village. He has an older brother. He has a best friend. He has a cousin that he doesn't get along with. He has a crush. He goes to school. He does his chores, just like a regular kid, right? But one day, Kofi gets kidnapped. He gets taken. And at first he thinks it might be like an initiation to becoming a man that his tribe does. But he quickly discovers that's not what it is. As a reader, you learn that Kofi has been captured by white men and is about to be sold into slavery. This book, again, it'll rip your heart out. It's told so well, and from the perspective of Kofi, who has no idea who white men are. He's never seen them. He doesn't know what slavery is. Those words aren't even used in this book. It's this discovery of this horrific thing that is happening to him, and his life changes forever. The Door of No Return. Then I have another novel in verse. I really like novels in verse. Again, they look very thick, but they go very, very fast. Not a lot of words on the page, but they are meaningful words, right? So you don't have to use a lot to still punch you in the gut. So this is called Flooded, Requiem for Johnstown. It's by Anne E. Burg. I did this for Novel Thoughts, my middle grade book club, a few years ago, and the kids really, really loved it. We did extensive research afterwards because this is actually based on real life events. It's in 1889 in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. There was this very fancy summer club built up on the hill that all the wealthy people would go to, and they had this big fancy lake, and they created this lake with a big dam. And all the rich people spent their summers there. And down below in the valley in this village were the working folks, the people that didn't have enough money to go to this place. Well, the club owners were told many times that there's something wrong with their dam, and they did not listen. And then the dam broke. And as you can see kind of from the cover, it floods everything in the town. This book is told in multiple voices, some children, some adults, about what happened in Johnstown during this flood. Again, this is based on a true event, and it was devastating. There are amazing photographs of the aftermath of this, and just to kind of give you a sense of how devastating it was, over 2,000 people died in this flood. Almost 400 of those people were children, flooded. Then we have We Own the Sky. So we're going to change up our tone a little bit. This book is definitely not as sad as some of the other ones. This is by Rodman Philbrick. We Own the Sky takes place in Maine in 1924. We have Davy and Joe. Davy and his older sister Jo have become orphans, and their mother's best friend is a pilot. Her name's Ruthie, and she owns like a circus where they do fancy flying tricks, wing walkers, and Ruthie takes them in. So Davy and Jo get to travel around Maine with this circus, and it's so exciting for Davy. And Jo starts training to be a wing walker. It's very cool. But all is not well. The KKK is alive and well in 1924 Maine. This is something I did not know, but it is based in fact. The KKK often is associated with the South, but it was very present in the North. And though they were not necessarily prejudiced against African Americans in the North, they did not like immigrants at all. And only people that descended from England were okay. If you were Jewish, if you were German, if you were Italian, no, you were not good enough and you needed to be kicked out of the country. And so the circus employs a lot of people that are of that descent, and the KKK decides to go after the circus. So while Davy and Jo are enjoying their summer, they also have to learn some hard lessons about prejudice and what that means and how they can fight against it. We Own the Sky. And finally, we have World Made of Glass. If you are looking for a book that will make you cry and sob uncontrollably, this is that book. I know some people like that. I like that sometimes. This is based in 1987. Iris is our main character. Her parents are divorced, and her dad has been dating another man, and she loves his boyfriend, and she's very happy, except her dad has AIDS, and he is not doing well. He is in fact dying, and Iris she wants to put on this front for everyone at school, all of her friends. No one knows any of this. She doesn't want to let them know that this tragic thing is happening. And so she just goes about her life. She visits her dad. She has all of these routines, and she starts kind of fighting and protesting for the rights of people that have AIDS and have HIV. So it's a cool like activism book that tells you a lot about the AIDS crisis, but it's also a great book about family. And her parents still get along really, really well. They're best friends, even though they're divorced. She has a lot of great friends. Iris has a lot of great friends herself. So it's a book about relationships as well. So if you're looking for a book to give you a hug and then make you cry, World Made of Glass. That's all I have for you today. You can check all of these out digitally on our digital platforms, either an audiobook or ebook. We also have them all here, so you can come and pick them up or place them on hold. And if you're really into historical fiction and you want some other options, we have tons of options for you. So hopefully we'll see you soon. See you next time.